Hi, welcome to Hold the Light, a show for lifelong learners who are curious about the ways we can deepen our connection to our personal transformation and spiritual growth. I'm Lori Gunning-Grossman. This season, in addition to occasional interviews, I'm sharing my reflections on the wisdom and offerings of the book, The Freedom Transmissions, chapter by chapter. If you're interested in creating more peace, simplicity, balance, forgiveness, and freedom in your life, welcome to this space. For this episode and the next, we're taking just a short book study break from the Freedom Transmissions to feature my new conversation with Carissa Schumacher. As you most likely know by now, Carissa is a forensic psychic medium, a spiritual guide, and a channel for Yeshua. The book, The Freedom Transmissions, are channeled transmissions she received from Yeshua. So you can go into this podcast archives to listen to any of the other conversations I've had with Carissa, with the most recent ones published this past September 2024. I'll link to everything in the show notes. So recently, Carissa and I came together again to address some questions around the Freedom Transmissions. In this episode, we talk about the phenomenon on how when we go back to reread the book, pages, passages, and paragraphs can feel completely new, as if we've never read them. We discuss how we can sometimes feel as though we're going backwards in our spiritual evolution when rereading the book, and Carissa addresses what this is that we're experiencing. We talk about the new era we're entering. We discuss how the Freedom Transmissions is not a self-help, do-it-this-way kind of book. She shares how we can communicate with and be in partnership with the divine. And we talk about why Yeshua has a British accent when Carissa channels him. And then finally, we talk about needs versus wants and how we can walk a spiritual path while still wanting things. This is a good one. So let's get to my latest conversation with Carissa Schumacher. So here's what I want to say. I was reading the chapter Shades of Hope, and then I went for a walk and I was listening to Shades of Hope. And of course, right off the bat, Yeshua says something where I'm like, I don't even remember reading that line, and I just read that chapter.
Yeah.
And what's so fascinating is that Yeshua says, I'm bringing you a lot of things in one transmission, and some are going to resonate, some won't, depending on where you're at in your life. When you come back another time, you're going to see and read and hear and feel something new that you didn't pick up another time. And this is like the interesting phenomenon of this book. This so resonates with me. And it just happened with me today, where you can open it up and you might not even remember reading a line, a passage, a page. You may have already read, but you don't remember it. What is this phenomenon?
What Yeshua welcomes us into is not just a process of healing from traumas or self-help or transcending an issue. What he welcomes us into is a pathway of alchemy, which can include, of course, healing from traumas or transcending an issue. But metabolism is very much about the shifting of beliefs, or chemistry is about the shifting of one form of something, one interpretation of something to another. Alchemy, he defines as the catalyst through which consciousness evolves. So as we are evolving in our horizontal lives through the Freedom Transmissions, our consciousness is evolving. And so where you are vibrationally when you first read it versus 3 years later, 2 days later, what he has created in the Freedom Transmissions and really all of his offerings is a new lens of your perception. And so whatever you need on a given day is what he brings to you through the Freedom Transmission. So it's not just a process of reading, it's a pathway of basically co-creation between you and the divine, which becomes stronger and stronger. And, with what you're experiencing today, this is just the magic and the awe of our connection to the vertical and how held we are through all of this. You were meant to read that at a specific time, even though you've read it before, and illuminate new things within your consciousness. And so the Freedom Transmissions really evolves us, not just mentally, emotionally, physically, or even spiritually. Alchemy is all about living from one's essence. And our essence is what's created through basically our spirit, our consciousness coming into form. Our essence isn't just our consciousness or spirit or just our body, nature, acquired personality. Our essence is that unique substance that we carry within us that is unique to each person. No one has ever had Lori's essence, and no one ever will carry Lori's essence. And so through the Freedom Transmissions and all else, he is really helping you to maybe distill aspects of your acquired personality or things that are creating sediment, blanketing your essence from shining. And so with reading these different things, he is weeding and braiding and working with you not only vertically, but also within the horizontal and experiences that you're having. And this is why I said the last time that we spoke that Yeshua is not, he's not here to change your beliefs. Your beliefs are your beliefs. Beliefs can shift and change over time. Things that you may have believed when you were 5, like Santa Claus, you certainly don't believe now. He is here to shift your perception, to open your eyes to what is real, not only in the seen world, but also in the unseen. And so in moving through the Freedom Transmissions, it really is. It's a meditation. It's a yoga between you and the divine, or you and the universe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Carissa, do you find, or have you heard from people as they've moved through the Freedom Transmissions? Sometimes I feel like it might be like a honeymoon phase when we first go through it. Mm-hmm. And then have you heard some people go back through it and then they're finding themselves even in more separation, more maybe like darkness, like because perhaps they're working on some of the imbalances or one of the imbalances. Are you hearing that from any people as well?
Well, of course, and this is just part of the evolution of our consciousness. It takes there's a lot that goes into the framework of the acquired personality and all of the sediment that creates the imbalances in the first place. Because of course, in our child, if you look at a child, children are so free in their essence. And then all of a sudden, over time, through development, through certain experiences, many children begin to realize, oh, I'm not safe to be in my essence. And so there's sediment that accrues, and sediment created by social constructs, parents, culture, all sorts of different things. And so there are many different pass-throughs as we move through our journey of conscious evolution and integration of our light and shadow. And Yeshua is all about balance. He's not just about everything is light. He is about weaving and integrating the two, like the yin and yang. And it's so beautiful when someone is able, yes, of course, they can feel the light through the Freedom Transmissions, but then all of a sudden, what can start to illuminate as more light is entering their body is the light streams into maybe places in the garage, in their subconscious mind, in their body. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, I was feeling so light. And then all of a sudden, it's like, now I have to clear some of the shadows and address some of these things that I didn't see before.
Yeah.
And that is what can feel like he really holds us accountable for our wholeness, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like there's really no stone left unturned, but the beauty of the freedom transmissions is that he guides us through it. Mm-hmm. We don't just have to go through it alone. We don't have to seek it out through 18 different practitioners and books and this, that, and the other thing. Of course, he loves exploration. That's possible, but we have a hand to hold us through it, to remind us that it's all right. It's all right to have wants. It's all right to be human. Everything, it's all right. And so, yes, there are times that just when I thought I was over the veil of complacency and I'm like rocking this life, all of a sudden, just one day, I'll feel the complacency creep back in. And that's where it can be tempting for people to be like, you know what, screw this, it doesn't work. I'm moving on to another thing or another way. But when you really stick with it, it transforms. It's like the divine light with your light. And then all of a sudden, say somebody is working through like a heavy shadow, like issue or something that like a tendency that they've had through imbalances, through traumas to like people please or abdicate their voice to others or to abdicate their own needs just to serve the needs for others, martyrdom, whatever else. And they face that and confront that while reading a passage or whatever else. But by not running away, by actually facing it, seeing it, loving it, like the lamb that he talks about, like the lost lamb in the darkness in one of the transmissions, it's through loving these parts of self that society, like conditioning tells us are horrible, sinful, unredeemable. And Yeshua's like, every part of you is sacred and redeemable. I unconditionally love you, but I need you to unconditionally love yourself. And so when we really look at some of those things and integrate them back, we become balanced. We become balanced in the intersection between vertical and horizontal, balanced within our pH in a sense.
Yeah.
We have aspects of our essence that are more acidic. People that have more acidic in their essence tend to have higher anxiety, more propensity towards overwhelm. People that are more alkaline in their essence tend to have a little bit more propensity to like underwhelm or depression or despair. So everything is about restoration of balance, restoration to the origin, your original essence, your original truth, your original whole, beautiful self, human and divine.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as you're moving through this transformation and things are being alchemized and this ingredient over here that you just thought was so disgusting and horrible about yourself, oh my gosh, you realize that when you add it with these ingredients of your light, it's like the perfect recipe. And then all of a sudden, you can work with your healthy integrated shadow. The healthy integrated shadow, wow, it's amazing. Compassion strengthens. Compassion is an energy that doesn't just come from the light. It comes from the healthy integrated shadow, empathy as well. Another form of the healthy integrated shadow is discernment. Our discernment and our intuition, it's kind of our light that gives us inspiration, but it's our discernment that is our healthy integrated shadow saying, hey, I love you. Maybe let's pause. Let's explore things. Let's see if we can really trust this before delving deeper into it or like giving ourselves, surrendering to something, whether like internal or external. So there are through confronting some of these areas, and especially in this last era that was very much about push it all down, pretend that everything's fine, like fake it till you make it, push through, fear control spigot. There's been a lot of conditioning that some of our shadow is like bad, including even things like we're not even supposed to have needs, to be holy, to be divine. We need to be sacrificing everything for everyone else, even when we're miserable on the inside. And Yeshua's like, let's bring transparency into this. Let's bring some holy fire into this. And so the recipe and the ingredients of what you were designed to be, how you were designed to serve, can open and blossom and crystallize. So it's a very nonlinear circuitry. And as you're moving kind of through each phase of the alchemy pathway, it can feel like, oh my God, I thought I was standing in the light and all my issues were resolved. And oh my God, now I'm back in a calcination. Am I devolving? Did I do something wrong? No. That's how you know that you're evolving. Things are shifting. Things are dissolving. Things are distilling, ionizing, crystallizing within you. And that's the joy in some ways. There have been times that I've been experiencing really, really difficult things within my life. And I just open to a page and I'm mad and I open to a page of the freedom transmissions, and it's just what I need to hear, to see, to make a shift, to make a change. And that is so liberating.
Yeah.
It's like from experiencing some of that fire, I have the support, I have the understanding from the divine that I'm not always able to get from the human to be able to make a shift or a change. And then when I'm on the other side of it, I'm like, wow, like I'm so proud of myself. He never does it for us. He doesn't just like force and impose, nor does any of higher consciousness or the divine. He guides us through so that we can realize our own strength, our own power, our own forgiveness, our own love. And that is the sacredness of this journey with Yeshua and certainly with the freedom transmissions as a foundation.
Yes, absolutely. I have the same exact experience of having something weighing on my mind or asking a question and just opening up the book. And it is the perfect thing for me to read in that moment. And I've heard this from many other people too, that they say the same thing. It's almost uncanny the way it works that way.
Yes, and
yeah.
I really appreciate how the loving truth that he gives to us. You know, I've heard a lot of people come forwards being like, well, I read this book because I wanted to, resolve my issues and meet my soulmate and, make $1 bazillion. And most books just give us that. Follow this process, drink this tea, and you'll be cured. Follow this 10-step thing and you'll never have an autoimmune issue. Do these things with law of attraction and you'll meet your soulmate and everything will be perfect in your life. Like, there's been a lot of this fairy tale, like a lot of beautiful lies. And so there are people that, have read a bazillion different self-help books, all different sorts of stuff that are almost like traumatized. Like, I was promised that if I did this, all of these things were going to materialize with a bazillion different testimonials from people that it were. And then they're like, I pick up the freedom transmissions and I'm like, oh man, like I actually have to co-create in this process. This is the truth. This isn't easy. However, when they do, just flow with it. There's an ease. There's an ease that emerges where just the right ingredients within them and then within their external lives click into place at just the right time. And this is really important because the new era that we're entering, the age of Aquarius, is about transparency. And Yeshua, he talks about it in the Freedom Transmissions, but he also said it outright. In a transmission last October, he said, what you're going to be experiencing as a world is a lot of dismantling of all of these beautiful lies that you've been told about God, about the divine, about who you're supposed to be. And so there is going to be a lot of ugly truth that comes to the surface because it's sacred, because it needs to. Otherwise, we can't heal. We can't transform individually or collectively. So I love that Yeshua gives us the truth and holds us accountable for our own power and grace and strength. So I'm very grateful that you asked that question because I feel like it's an important distinction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want to also piggybacking on this, how this book is a co-creation with Yeshua. And you say that he holds us accountable. And I think that that's one of the things I'm discovering about this book. One of the things I like about it is that or I'll speak for myself, I am not just going to this book to be told what to do, and I think that many people, and I have done this too, we seek answers from others. Tell me how to feel, tell me what the answer is, tell me what to do, and we are looking outside of ourselves. And I feel like this book, as you said, like it is a meditation, and it's so wise, and as I said before, we can go back and relearn or learn something new all the time. Yet I don't feel like it is Yeshua saying, do it this way, do it that way. Right?
That wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
We're like gods in training. Elise Lonan calls it Earth School, which is accurate. But that's the joy, is this co-creation. Yeah. We get to feel how we wish to feel. And he understands and he holds us through some of those challenges or some of the rebalancing with such love and with such humor. But this is so much the essence of the one consciousness. We have forgotten that, yes, like the divine, the one consciousness serves all of the collective, but we also, every single person has an individual relationship, an individual covenant, an individual essence. And so how Yeshua works with you in your essence is going to be different from how Yeshua works with Lyko, Jen, anyone that's listening. But we've been abdicating our responsibility for our own uniqueness, our own originality, by looking to others with other essences basically to tell us what to do, tell us what to be, because in some ways that's a little bit easier. It takes us off of the hook. But what we also then give away is our power. We give away our power. We almost give away our worth. We abdicate our worth to tell someone what our worth is. If you do this and you're getting it right, then you're worthy, then you're right, then you're sacred. And Yeshua's like, that's not how this works. He knows exactly what each and every person needs. We just need to take the time to listen. And that's why I love that the way that he refers to, I get a lot of questions about, well, like, what is my relationship with the divine? Am I a child? Like, am I on like the nice list, the naughty list, depending on how I behave?
Yeah.
And what he says is, why not treat it more like a marriage or a partnership? And of course, like any marriage or partnership, we need to learn how to communicate. And as we get older and age in the relationship and we're evolving, our wants and needs change. So we need to be communicating that. And the way that we do, the way that we express our needs to the divine is through prayer. Whether it's spoken prayer, an act of prayer, in the way that the one consciousness or our spirits communicate with us with regards to what our spirit needs of us is through meditation. And meditation is not just, there are active and passive meditations. And in the meditations in the freedom transmissions, Yeshua interweaves a couple of both. There are a couple of the meditations in the freedom transmissions that are very passive, like he's giving us the metta, we're receiving. And then there are other meditations in the freedom transmissions where he's having us shake, he's having us move our arms around. Like one of my forms of active meditation is running, hiking, nature. And so, and how, like so many people, when you're in nature, you just feel connected, one with the entire ecosystem, with all that is. There is such an elegant simplicity and richness. You can almost feel sometimes like the rocks or the trees are just giving to you and you're giving your gratitude and thanking them. So beautiful. So this is why Yeshua structured prayers and meditations into the freedom transmissions so that we could understand better how to express our needs through prayer, whether it's the, oh my gosh, like I have an issue, the transcendence prayer. Scream it out. And then move through into the meditation and get the downloads that, whether immediately or over the next days and weeks, will help, will aid, will support, will catalyze the transcendence and the evolution. So this marriage and partnership, like any marriage and partnership, there are occasionally moments where there are lover spats. No marriage is ever perfect. And so a perfect example of this, I'll just say this in humility.
Yes.
But, my covenant, so that this marriage, the commitment to this relationship, this partnership with spirit, this like fist bump, like holding hands, that is the basis for one's covenant. The covenant that we share. So the first covenant, is really discussed with regards to Abraham, like way, 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 way back in, the book of Genesis, like God, quote unquote, in the stories, gave the covenant to Abraham. And why? Because Abraham, who God called Racham means friend. This was the first time in the Bible that God calls someone like a friend, like a buddy. And why? Abraham did not just take orders from God in the story, he also negotiated with God. He's referred to as the first attorney, the first advocate.
Okay, Abraham.
And so there was a discussion. God was like, do this. And Abraham's like, okay, I'll do this, but I'm not going to. And so there was a negotiation. There was a connection, a communion. And so that's as an analogy of like our spirit with our nature and our essence and our mind. And so there are moments where, like any other marriage, there are lover spats. So quick story. So last year, all journeys have obviously been in very natural places, Sedona, Elfin Forest. So last September, a year ago, it's the second day of the Commitment Transmission series in Santa Barbara. And I return home the second night, and Yeshua just announces with his booming voice in my channel. And by the way, his voice, he does not have a British accent. When I hear him in my channel,
Okay.
I think I need to make this distinction too, because I get this like what is up with the British accent? What I know about this is that like his voice sounds to me like rainbows, lightning, like thunderous. There's no way to completely describe like what he sounds like, but I know that a lot of people, probably some of those that have listening, may have like heard him say something to them from time to time. So nevertheless, what I sense is that I had asked in my covenant, like right after he had come through for the first time, that there be a distinction between him and me.
Okay.
This was really important to me for a lot of different reasons, because like I needed to feel safe that I could have my own like individual life in a sense, and that there was a distinction between like Carissa's voice and Yeshua's voice, so that I could also participate in everything that he was offering. So this is just what developed. So he comes through in like a slightly British accent.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could have picked anything, but he has to work with my technology. And that includes like the limitations of my body and like all of that. So anyways, so I hear his booming mellifluous voice, and he says, "Beloved, I need the September journey next year to be in New York City." I can't do his voice. And in that moment, I mean, I have done everything that Spirit has asked of me. Spirit has served all of my requests and needs in return, not my wants, but definitely my needs.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I lost my shit.
Uh-oh.
I was like screaming in my hotel room. I'm like, Yeshua, this is my limit. There is no way that this is happening. Like, pick somewhere else. So I have this total self-absorbed, like the people that like wrote in and that were like, oh my God, I feel kind of bad that I think I have like 3 of the imbalances. I had all 7 of the imbalances come through in this moment. And so I'm like screaming. I have this total self-absorbed fear temper tantrum. And he doesn't say anything, but I like felt he was just holding space, just witnessing, letting me get it all out. And then when I'm done, because you know, like when you get all the barf out, you're just kind of like wiped out and almost like a little bit embarrassed. So I get it all out. And then he says, "Beloved, it's because the September journey needs to be focused on spiritual alchemy." And then like the most humbled like dog with its tail beneath its legs, I just go, oh, now I understand why it needs to be in New York City with all of that richness of energy and consciousness and diversity, ripe to be alchemized. I'm like, of course, yes. And I was like half embarrassed, but actually just like, I just burst out laughing at myself because it was so beautiful how he allowed me to have that moment, but then like totally like resolved. And so that happened and I was like, all right, okay, we'll do it in New York City. But then I go, but you need to make this all happen I am not going to seek out a venue rental. I'm not going to seek out anything. Yeshua, I will do this. I will do my first urban journey, be in New York City, which is very overwhelming for me in 21 years, but you need to handle the horizontal. And sure enough, within 3 weeks, out of nowhere, perfect space for the journey materializes. All of everything. I thought that the New York journey a few weeks ago was going to be the most difficult journey, like the most stressful journey of my life. There was so much ease. It was just ease, joyful, playful, start to finish. Very, very humbling because I was inserting my own past fears and projections like onto this. And he's like, trust, beloved, just trust. Like unlike certain human marriages where your spouse can betray you, in this marriage and partnership with Yeshua and with the divine, you will never be betrayed. Even if you walk away and kick your spouse and shut everything down to the curb, it's always still there. With you, flowing through you. And so even for some people that are like struggling in relationships or partnerships, what I really love about how he like reminds us to work with this as like a marriage or a partnership in the vertical, it's really great practice. Like when you can, like Yeshua's the best boyfriend ever.
Interesting.
He never interrupts you. He knows how you're feeling. He listens to all of your feelings. He's whatever he needs to be for you. He's going to be like whatever need you have. And so it's wonderful. And I found that through strengthening the trust and like true unconditional love in my covenant and in this vertical partnership, it has made all of my external relationships so much simpler, so much more balanced. Like if you can learn to communicate with Yeshua, which is basically like learning how to communicate with your own consciousness, it makes it so much easier to practice discernment, to communicate things, to structure boundaries, to feel worthy of expressing your needs and receiving your needs, as well as serving and giving. And so it's a really, if you can get that vertical, that vertical partnership down where you can't make any mistakes, it makes the horizontal a lot easier. And that is really the essence of living from as above, so below.
So, okay, I love all of that, and the idea of Yeshua being the best boyfriend ever. Here's my question that I'm wondering,
or girlfriend,
just partner. Yeah, that's right. I'm imagining that people listening, Lori says, and really it's what she's imagining. So when you say like learn how to communicate and learn how to create like a partnership and a loving partnership, so I guess the question is like, what are the ways to do that? Is it through daily meditation? Is it through, hey, when you go walk along the beach, just kind of be like, hey, Yeshua, I'm walking right now. Like, how you doing? Like, is it just about calling him up as if you would call up a new sweetheart and just be like, checking in, how are you doing? Is it like, what do people do? The prayers, meditation?
Totally different for everyone. I have some people that spent 2 years just reciting the prostration prayer. And through those 2 years, I mean, again, just one sentence in any sacred text can be the key to your entire enlightenment. You know, so for some people, they like to do like almost an entire transmission per day or one meditation. And for other people, it's just like taking a moment to be present.
Yeah.
Yeshua is very simple. He doesn't ask for a whole lot. He doesn't really actually ask for anything except just our willingness That's all that he asks is just the willingness to explore, to reach out, to check in. Because what that does is it keeps taking that moment to pause and just be present, or to feel the wind, or to connect with the flower, the essence of a flower, recognizing the beauty. Through just that willingness to take a moment to be present, it keeps you on a more consistent basis dropped in to that intersection between the vertical and the horizontal, which is where your essence resides. And so whether it's just one moment per day, for me, I start each day with like welcoming Yeshua in, welcoming Divine Mother, welcoming Archangel Michael. And I end each day with the same thing. And there are times, Yeshua is not about like read this and follow the process. He's not all vertical, but he also doesn't want you to be all horizontal and kind of lost and separate and feeling disconnected. So there's this beautiful dance. It's almost like weaving. We're just even taking a breath or a couple of breaths, a moment of breathing in vertical, spilling it to horizontal. And when it's really great when you're in like a super horizontal moment. I mean, we have the holidays coming up with Christmas parties and relatives and travel and shopping and elections and blah. So in really horizontal moments, those are really the best moments. Just drop in. Now, what this also allows him to do, because he can't bypass your free will. So through willingness, you're basically just like giving permission. And so there's more magic because he's able to work with your spirit upon the web of life to orchestrate certain things. And what I've found over and over and over again, certainly like in the transmissions after the freedom transmissions too, Yeshua really does make this deal with you. And a lot of people at first heard this, but they didn't really understand it until it happened to them. Like people with chronic anxiety that are like, why am I not anxious? Like, shouldn't I be? This is weird. Like, things are going well. Like, are things allowed to go well? He makes this deal with you where he says, if you do, just take a minute, a moment, an hour, whatever it needs to be for you. Go for a hike, whatever else. If you commit, if you agree to a little bit more space, creating a little bit more space for the vertical, I'll work out everything in the horizontal for you.
Yeah.
And it happens never in the way that our mind expects, but always in the way that is just right. And that strengthens trust and faith, not only in the divine that we're held and supported, but also within ourselves, in our ability to flow through life from our essence instead of feeling like we need to blanket it up or hold it back.
Oh my gosh. God, I love all this. I just love the thought of just bring willingness to all of this. That's such a good word to hold in our pocket as we move through everything. And, you said that you check in with Yeshua, Mother, Archangel Michael, I think you said, in the morning, and you said at night. And that's something I've been doing as well, just with Yeshua, and sometimes honestly, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm going to sit here with a candle in the morning and some warm water and just invite Yeshua in with actually, it was like a prayer that you had given to people who went on a journey a while ago. And I say it every morning where I welcome Yeshua in to be with and within me in this moment, in this breath. And I go through that. And then at night, as I turn off the light and roll over, I just kind of like, well, thank you. Thank you, Yeshua and spirit guides. And I just try to show gratitude. And half the time, and I imagine maybe some other people might just be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but just do it. I think it's the willingness to just be like, just keep going. Just keep trying it and working things out. And then I feel like the next thing you know, you're suddenly like, wait, was that like a conversation I just had? Where did that come from? Or even writing something. Just have the willingness as you move along.
That's where the play, that's where the humility, integrity, and originality comes into play. The freedom of creating your own thing. It's in playing with that a little bit, whether it's writing or jumping around and dancing or making popsicle art. Like, Yeshua doesn't care. Do what brings you joy, that spreads the energy of joy, that brings deeper peace. And it's feeling like we know exactly what we're doing. That's the mind. That's actually one of that's the imbalance of like wrathful wisdom. It's beautiful to say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be it.
Yeah.
For years, I've gotten this like, Carissa, you feel like you're so in command of everything and you know just what you're doing with spirit and journeys and Yeshua. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing because I don't do it. I just be it. And it's through that play and that pathway. I mean, Yeshua he said this before, but he would rather have a child painting little pine cones and placing them on a stump to some unknown force, God, nature, whatever else, than someone building an entire cathedral rooted in pain and suffering. And especially that which is imposed on others. It's magnificent for people to express gratitude to the divine for life, for nature, for their bodies. But with Yeshua, he loves to celebrate. He loves the communion. And that essence of sharing, the spirit of sharing, is how he defines unity. And we are entering an era, Aquarius, that is all about community, which he talks about in the Freedom Transmissions. And so that play, whatever structures that you play with, sometimes when we're new in our awakening process, we may be like tarot cards or, crystals. And then as we evolve, it may be more yoga or creative writing or automatic channel writing. Like it needs to be an evolution. There's nothing that is right or wrong. All he asks for is just the willingness and just a moment of presence to be shared and celebrated.
Oh, man. God, I love all of this. As we're talking about this, too, it just, for some reason, maybe I was thinking of nature. I've been reading a lot of Mary Oliver's poems from her book Devotions, and the reverence that she has for nature and the divine that she sees in just a hummingbird or a leaf or a snail. It's like she just opens her eyes. She goes outside, opens her eyes, and she's connected. And then I read her words, and then I feel connected. So I think it's just finding those things that like open up our heart and make us feel connected. I like how you said it's whatever that means for any person, however they can find it.
Well, and as he says at the beginning of the Freedom Transmissions, nature is the common thread that unites you all. And it's not just like physical nature, but, it's our nature. Our essence is both our consciousness and spirit as well as our nature. And so when we're in places like nature, there's a reflection, there is a reminder of essence. Like when you look at that hummingbird, it's really just like a little hummingbird if you're looking at it through the mental lens. But when you're really connecting to that hummingbird, it has this essence to it.
Yeah.
Each tree has a different essence, each flower. And so it's like being in nature, looking at that hummingbird it almost flickers up or reminds you of your own essence as well. Like really drinking in life and bringing and sharing the nourishment of our essence within life. It's just so much easier in nature because nature doesn't have free will. The hummingbird, it can only be the essence of that hummingbird. Unlike us, we don't, the hummingbird animals, and he talks about this in Life, Loss, and the Lamb transmission, like animals, and this is why like dogs, horses, they're so natural in their essence. And anything that is natural in its essence, because it comes from the present, that intersection of vertical and horizontal brings us into the present. Like how many listeners have tried to force a dog to do something? I mean, sure, you can if the dog is just playing out in it's just playing out in the field.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the same thing with children and things that are very pure within their essence. It's like they hold you accountable for balance. They hold us accountable for presence. And that's why it's really, really special. And why I love Yeshua. He's all about like nature, earth, and drumming. He loves the indigenous peoples. He's not just like, go to a cathedral where you can like light incense. And there's also the joy of the communion with the fabric and texture of all that lies within the horizontal. And so I know that there was a question that had been asked about need versus want. Or I believe the question was, and if it's okay, I'd really like to read this because this one really stood out to me.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I love this question so much. Someone asked about when Yeshua says in TFT that when we die, we don't take the stuff we amass with us, or more followers, or news, or quotes, or quests for money, power. What we do take are moments of connection, intimacy, when we say goodbye to loved ones or hello to a stranger, moments of connection and communion. But what if someone likes beautiful material things because it feels like those things are an expression of their creativity?
Yes.
And then you said, I think the question is, can we walk a spiritual path of simplicity while still wanting things? Or better yet, how can we walk a spiritual path of simplicity while still wanting things?
Right.
And then you wrote, and I'm reading this because I feel it's important. I'm sensing this person is maybe wondering how we can balance our human journey with our spiritual journey. And maybe there's a tinge of worry about perfection. All those trappings of religious constructs just bored right into us. Like maybe they are thinking that if we don't do the spiritual work exactly as the freedom transmissions expresses, we are not doing it right. I know that's now not the frequency of TFT, but someone new looking to the book might still feel that way.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It is the complete opposite. Yeshua says it. He says it throughout the book. This is an offering, not a dictation. I'm teaching you how to learn about your essence and how your needs and wants evolve. I'm teaching you to even have wants and needs in the first place. So for a very long time, it was not what he said in his life, but over the past 2,000 years with misinterpretations and insertions of fear and dominance, it's become this, you need to be holy, you need to purify, you need to martyr yourself in order to earn your way to God. Like, what? It's just so ridiculous. So the whole freedom transmissions is like, Taste this. Do you like it? No, not today. Cool. Taste this. Over here, feeling grief today, maybe this will be delicious to you, and maybe this transmission won't be delicious to you. This is an offering. It is a pathway of peace to bring you into your essence. And again, he's not all about the vertical and certain things. It's amazing. It's an expression of your essence to find this beautiful object and just to treasure it and want to share it or gift it to another person or hold it or work with it. Beautiful material things are the work of God, of the work of Creator and creation. When you actually create something, you are using your essence to serve as Creator, to evolve consciousness. You are not just, there's not just a creator and you're in creation. As human beings, we have this power. Like we've been trusted with this covenant of power to serve as Creator. So loving beautiful things. Yeshua loved sunsets, trees. He loved food. Oh my gosh. He loved food. And it was not a little bit difficult to come by from time to time, but it was always there. And if it wasn't there, he made it be there.
Oh my God.
But yes.
Yeah.
As long as it is coming from your true essence, it is okay to have wants and needs. But we've been living in a society that really has us focused on wants. I want to get over this really quick. I'm going to take a pill for it. Like, I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to cook a healthy meal today. I'm just going to go to McDonald's. When the need is to eat a good, satiating meal. So Yeshua is just saying, I'm just asking you, you don't have to, but I'm just asking you to flip the circuit and prioritize the needs first. Because when your needs are being met and you're advocating for yourself and creating and enforcing the boundaries to be able to maintain a certain need, say that someone may have a need for spaciousness, more spaciousness within their life, within their schedule, more time, even like focus on the need. And then the want is extra. And sometimes extra can be really fun.
I'm so glad that you called out that question, because I know I know the person, who asked it, and it was, weighing on her mind. And sometimes it's hard to express, well, for me, exactly what you just said. I love that. That is such a refreshing way to look at this and to look and to answer her question of like, am I a bad person if I love a beautiful vase with flowers in it, or a beautiful shawl that keeps me warm,
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's the best. But when the gratitude and the connection is that, again, he's like, let's share it together.
Yeah.
Let's share it together. So I'll just give a really simple example of this. So anybody that may be feeling this way, Yeshua does it too. So I'll give a perfect example. So he sometimes likes to give people objects. And so he's given people pearls before. Like he gives away all of my belongings. Like anything that he knows that I don't need. Like there are times when I'm like, but I really want. And he's like, nope, you don't need it anymore. This person really needs it. So I'm like, okay. And Yeshua is also my accountant. I'm just going to say that flat out. Like he decides all financial decisions.
Ooh,
and that's great for me because horizontal stuff, time, technology, like I don't like to deal with it. So this has really simplified my life. It was like a miracle when he like helped me to like structure and work with that. So on the June journey, there was a deeply beloved member of our community, Shannon. And Yeshua, he's always had this little thing for Shannon, From the beginning, he loves all of us completely equally, but he has this little like Shannon crush.
Okay.
So he like always picks, he like calls her out by name, like he looks for her if she's not there. So nevertheless, Shannon was not able to come to the March journey when he gave away all the pearls. And so a couple of weeks before the journey, he was like, beloved, I really need you to give pearls to Shannon. And so I'm like, okay, like what kind? And he brings me through. And he was like half up in my channel. He can come like half up in my channel. And so I can like hear him. And that's when we're communicating during my integration time. I have integration time with Yeshua every day. It's just part of the process of my life and being a channel. And that's kind of when he expresses his needs and I express mine. So nevertheless, he has me go online and I'm looking through like all of these websites and he picks this pair of pearls, earrings that were like over $1,000.
Oh,
I'm like,
my
Yeshua,
God.
like, are you sure about this? He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's like, these need to be with Shannon. And they were pearls surrounded by like a gold half moon. So I get the earrings and I'm a little bit like, oh, God, okay. All right, Yeshua, for your girlfriend, I'll do it. So we got the earrings and we give it to Shannon on the journey and they are so sparkly and just look so beautiful with her eyes. And then 2 days after the journey, one of my client that donates to a lot of like the pro bono was just like, Carissa, I've had a really abundant period. You know, I work with him in sessions. So he's like, thanks to you, I've had a really abundant like second quarter. And I just want to share some of it with you. And he sends me the exact amount as the earrings.
Oh my gosh.
Every need got served. He got to give through his essence. Shannon got her earrings. Yeshua, me. Everyone's needs were served.
Amazing.
At the end of the day, and I have heard so many stories like this with people that have worked with Yeshua and the freedom transmissions, or just even Christ consciousness within themselves, not just how it's come through my channel, where they'll be like, like my guides are telling me that I've really got to sign up for this course or like buy this house, but it's really expensive. But they do it, they commit, they trust, and boom. Somehow it like all gets orchestrated in the most perfect way that allows for the needs to be met. So for anybody that may still have some ingrained acquired personality sediment imbalances surrounding like perfection or unworthiness, it's all right. It's all right. And for some people, there are legitimately people that may need a 10-bedroom house. And if they were in a hut on the beach, they would be miserable. And then there may be other people that need like a nice little, hut on the beach. And if they had a 10-bedroom mansion, they would be miserable. And we see this sometimes with kind of like the gluttony. It's one of the ego imbalances where it's like rich, like money, sex, power. If I only had that, then I would be happy. And so a person then in that one, works super hard, like workaholic addictions to get the 10-bedroom mansion. And then he gets the 10-bedroom mansion and he's miserable and unhealthy and exhausted. And like either the life collapses or he just like suffers through the rest of, or he goes back to the one bed. And then there's a peace that's restored because that is what is needed and the most nourishing for his essence. So there is a difference between the wants and the needs that each person has. And what he cautions us of in the freedom transmissions is trying to compare, or like the if only, Or if she has this, I need to have this too to be successful. Yeshua's definition of success, maintaining a purity of heart. Just a pure heart. Having the humility to know when you've missed the mark. And that's what he talks about a lot with repentance and atonement and redemption. And in a way that's so joyful. You know, these words to me used to, oh my God, like repentance. But the way that he described it and working with these is so liberating. You know, it's in the way that and I know that you're not quite there in the podcast, and we'll talk about this in our next time together. But there's a way to, like, atonement is just service through joy. Like, he gives the example of, like, the heroin addict that is just, you know, riddled in sediment and traumas, that goes through the void and the death and becomes sober, and maybe, like, may have hurt a lot of people, stolen from a lot of people. And the person becomes a teacher or a therapist to help others that are recovering from addiction. So from their shadow, they serve through light. That is atonement. You know, and so it's just, it's all good with Yeshua. Yeah. It's just checking in, and there's no right or wrong way to do it.
So that's the first part of my latest conversation with Carissa. In the next episode, we'll continue by covering topics such as if she feels pressure to live up to the wisdom of Yeshua in her everyday life, if she considered publishing the Freedom Transmissions without the name Yeshua attached to it, and we discuss 2 specific transmissions Carissa feels compelled to highlight right now. In closing, I mentioned earlier in this episode that I say a prayer every morning before I meditate, and it's one that Carissa shared with me and some other people before we attended a journey back in March 2023, and now I want to share it here with you. It goes like this. Yeshua, please come and be with and within me, in this moment, in this breath. I choose to align my light with your light. I surrender my whole self and spirit to your divine grace. Show me the path and the way. I open my heart to all that is of truth, love, and peace. And so it is. Thanks for listening. Keep holding the light. To connect and learn more, find me on Substack at Hold the Light with Lori Gunning-Grossman. Subscribe to receive my weekly emails, discussion threads, community events, and more. You can also find me on Instagram at Hold the Light Collective. Hold the Light is produced by me, Lori Gunning-Grossman. Jonathan Grossman is our producer, editor, and all-around sound guru. Theme music by Jonathan Grossman. And this show is recorded at Night Shift Audio.